Hello everyone, my name is Patricia Baird. I have been a board member of Puget Soundkeepers for approximately 7 years, and I am very honored to have been voted to be the new board chair, and I am so looking forward to the upcoming year of serving in this capacity to my beloved organization, Puget Soundkeeper. Puget Soundkeeper is very dedicated to honoring the diversity and the full spectrum of the relationships that we have with our local Salish people who were the original stewards of this land. As a step forward in honoring the truth and achieving healing and reconciliation, our organization has committed to opening all public events and gatherings with a statement of acknowledgement of the traditional lands on which we now stand. So please take a moment and join me. We acknowledge the stewardship of the coastal Salish peoples of this region, of the ceded and unceded land on which we all stand, that touches the shared waters of all tribes, coastal nations, and peoples of our region. We join with those past ancestors, present members, and future stewards to preserve and protect these lands and waters, as there is no more important an endeavor at this current historical moment of our time. Welcome. Thank you for joining us as we emerge from a pandemic strong because of your support, because of your dedication to our cause, because of our membership, because of our dedicated staff and board members. Welcome to this year's salute. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Sean Dixon, and I'm the new Executive Director at Puget Soundkeeper Alliance. I'm very happy to be here with you today. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce myself. We can't meet in person just yet. We're seeing a lot of you out on the waterfronts at a lot of our volunteer opportunities, our watershed modeling and mapping and water quality events, our salmon surveys, and our beach cleanups. But I hope next year we'll be able to meet in person so we're not doing this again online. But in any event, it's great to be here with you tonight. I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York. I've always loved fish. I've always loved waterfronts. I've always loved clean water. My mom spent most of the 70s working here on the Duwamish River in the shipyards as a welder, a boilermaker, and a ship fitter. And I've always heard stories of the wonders of the Seattle waterfront and the greater Puget Sound region. I'm a regular visitor to the region, but it's my first time being a resident, and I couldn't be happier to be here. My passion has always been clean water, clean fisheries, healthy communities that are connected to their waterways and really have a voice in the future of their clean water. This is exactly what we do here at Puget Soundkeeper, and I couldn't be more proud to stand alongside everybody at Puget Soundkeeper Alliance in furthering the work of this great organization. It's a pivotal time for Puget Soundkeeper. We've been working for the last 18 months under the haze of COVID, and we haven't missed a beat. We've been out on the water, out in the watershed, making sure that we always were there when we needed to take our water quality samples, work with you, our partners, to do salmon surveys, and to make sure that we were stewards of our waterfronts with cleanups, kayak patrols, boat patrols, and all of our advocacy. We've been there during COVID, but only because of the support of every one of our volunteers, members, and partners throughout the community. It's a pivotal time for Puget Soundkeeper, and I'm very proud to be working during this new era of environmentalism for Puget Sound. In 2022, the Clean Water Act turns 50. There's a lot more work to be done, and that's what we're here to do. From nutrient pollution to stormwater, to the continued plight of orca and all of the salmon throughout the Sound. We have emerging contaminants and a very real need to work to address environmental injustice. Together, we can approach these problems and find the solutions that are needed to connect our communities to clean water and ensure that we have the innovations in place to sustain this clean water future in perpetuity. That's what we're all about at Puget Soundkeeper, and we could only do it with your support. I'm very glad to be here. I'm very glad to be part of this team, and I'm looking forward to sharing this journey together. Thank you.
Well, I am so happy to be here today to present the first ever Orca Award to, guess who? Walt Tabler. Walt's not only a great human being, but he really exemplifies this award through and through. So please stand with me for, let's see, about 20 minutes as we honor Walt with this year's Orca Award. I brought a list. I just didn't want to miss anything. I'm just kidding. It won't take 20 minutes. But Walt has given us so many contributions. His dedication, his stewardship to Puget Sound and our organization, and of course the time that he has spent as our most recent board president. It's been noteworthy. Walt's always been there. He's helped us steer the ship in the right direction, and he's had to navigate some very rough seas. I'm sure that there were times that he felt like he was the captain on a boat in the Bering Sea going through a gale. During his tenure as board president, he's guided Soundkeeper through significant financial and operational and pandemic-driven challenges. No doubt a skill he picked up during the decade he spent at the helm of Puget Sound pilots. Soundkeeper wouldn't be where it is today without his partnership and his leadership. And over the past few years, for that and more, Puget Soundkeeper is proud to present Walt with its inaugural Resident Orca Award. Let's give a hand to Walt Tabler.
Good evening, and thank you very much. I'm humbled and very appreciative to Puget Soundkeeper for giving me this award tonight. I love this organization. I first got involved with it about 10 years ago where I was working. We started doing some things with Soundkeeper, and I was immediately impressed by the staff and by the folks associated with it, with their passion, their zeal, their energy. But I was most impressed with how effective the organization is. The organization, especially in the legal program, gets stuff done. It's out on the water, it's in the mud, it's in the courtrooms. It gets a lot of bang for the buck. One of the things that we did while I was president of the board over the last couple years was revise our strategic plan. And the strategic plan was about 3 years old, and we realized that it was focused on pollution, which is important, but it wasn't really focused on people. And what makes pollution so bad is the impact that it has on the people who both depend on and enjoy Puget Sound. So we were lucky enough to shift the focus of the strategic plan over to the people who are affected by the pollution, the people who depend on Puget Sound for food, for cultural identity, for recreation, for employment, and also the people who are affected by the pollution that we allow to happen on Puget Sound. We've come to realize that the disproportionate impact on disadvantaged communities is a crucial part of our program. And there are thousands and thousands of threats to Puget Sound that we look at every day. And the phone rings at Soundkeeper and somebody has an issue that they bring up, and siphoning through those and filtering out the ones where we want to devote our resources is very important. And we have a long history of working with community organizations around the Sound, both with the tribes, with the neighborhood groups, the community groups, other environmental groups, all of those who are involved in protecting Puget Sound. And we're very much looking forward to expanding those efforts and bringing those community groups into the decision-making process for how we devote our resources and where we put our energy. So thank you all for being here tonight. We're looking forward to a future where we can expand our outreach to the community groups, where we can expand our outreach to the regular citizens of the state, so we get to the point where folks understand how important Puget Sound is and put pressure on their politicians to help clean up the Sound. And we're looking forward to our future of outreach to the youth groups who are so important to the future of Puget Sound. So thank you for your support of Puget Sound. I hope you continue that support in a very significant way this week, and we look forward to seeing you and working with you in the future. Thank you.
Puget Sound is one of the most interesting and complex ecosystems, certainly in the United States and possibly in the world. Marine ecosystems are especially complex, and with the number of assaults that have occurred to Puget Sound, from cutting down the forests to industrial discharges to the incredible population increase around the area and so much destruction, we have a long way to go to fix up what's the damage that's been done. We have an amazing opportunity here to be up close to nature and to really relate to nature in a direct way. It's a beautiful place and it needs to be cared for. It needs to be helped get back to its normal situation. If we don't take care of Puget Sound, we will eventually go down with it.
I'm troubled by what is happening with all the garbage on the streets and in our waters and the plastic, but just have to keeping on to people become aware. Just more awareness, and that it's time to, if we're making a mess, clean it up.
Soundkeeper started off as just a few people on a board and maybe one or two staff people back in 1984 interested in pollution issues, and it's grown over the years to our current size and our current budget with our current array of programs. And I'm excited about where we're going to go.
They've got such a long history of devoted service to the sound and successes. It's one thing to work on the policy side of trying to convince everyone what the right thing to do is, but all the laws in the book, in the world that are correct on the books don't mean anything if you don't have people actually doing them. And I think being involved with Puget Soundkeeper really was my opportunity to join an organization on the doing side of the equation.
The thing I really appreciate about Soundkeepers is that we learn what we can do. A lot of us feel helpless. We know it's a huge problem. It seems insurmountable, but there are things we can do. And we learn about this through Soundkeepers, and we can educate others who have the same feeling. It's reaching out and helping the environment and learning. It's just, it's educational. It's also satisfying to be able to do something.